Hello, it's Katie from Bella Creativa and I am back with a new project. So if you are a regular viewer or do my projects, you'll know that I've been gone for a long time. Everything's fine, I'm good. I was just doing other things, had a break, but I'm back and I've got a new project. This is one for Halloween, so if you've got lots of photos hanging around from Halloween, you might like this one. It is based as a mini album, but you can use the pockets and all the bits and pieces to make a junk journal or a journal or anything else that you would like as well. So don't just think of it as a mini album. Think of it as anything. Use your creativity and use it any way you like. So I'm a bit rusty at this old videoing thing and talking to myself in an empty room. But anyway, we'll carry on. So this is a print then cut project. So I use a Cricut. I've designed these so that they can be cut out, uploaded to Cricut Design Space and cut out using your Cricut. But I know a lot of people don't have a Cricut, and so I've also made it as a set of printable templates. So you just print it on your regular printer and cut it out by hand with scissors or a craft knife or something like that. So there are options for both situations, okay? And what else do I need to tell you? These are all the pieces, and this little handy little printout comes with the kit. So you can print this out and look through it and decide which pieces you want to cut out and use. So let's have a look. So there are 12 base pages. The reason is because some of them face one way, some of them face the other way. So these are the first 6 base pages to make this album. I have included a spine to make a 4-page album or a 6-page album. I'm going to make the 6-page one just so I can show you all the bits and bobs, maybe some ideas about how to use it. But you can just do a 4-page album. You could be tricky and make it into a folder or something like that. Use your imagination. But anyway, these are the pages. These pages are, let's have a quick look. I'll grab one. I'll try to. They are basically this size, okay? These bits on here are the fold tabs. And I just wanted to say that this is an A4 piece of paper. If you were making a junk journal, then you would probably fold that in half and make it into, that would be your signature. So that is basically the same size as this, so that as a consequence, all the pockets and things should fit on an A4 size piece of paper like this. Most of them should also fit on a letter size piece of paper folded in half like this, because I think letter size is wider this way but narrower this way. But I'm pretty sure that you could definitely use these pieces for the most standard size junk journals if that's what you wanted to do. Anyway, let's have a quick look and then we're going to start making. So there are 12 base pages, as I said. These are the first 6, and then these are the second 6. They're sort of like the back pages if you wanted to make pocket pages, which is what I'm going to do. And then we have the cover and some spines. We've got a large flip and a small flip. We've got some little waterfall flips here, a set of doors. And these are all little bits of clip art, little cutout elements that you can use to decorate. And there are zombies and mummies. There's some poison bottles and pumpkins, black cats and witches' hats, skeletons. There's a coffin, a cauldron, a witch's broomstick, all sorts of things. There's 2 different envelopes that you can do. There's a file folder. This is just a folded insert. There's the side insert to go into the pocket pages. And then we have all the pockets. I've got a Haunted Mansion pocket. gates, gravestones. We've got a little witchy lady. We've got a belly band here, which is a skeleton. We've got a zombie pocket. We have an apothecary cabinet with lots of little bottles to go in it. There's a slot pocket, a couple more long pockets, some doors, and then I've also included some floral elements as well, because even though it's Halloween, I still like flowers. So that's what comes in the kit. As I say, you can use the PNG files and upload those to Cricut and have your Cricut cut out for you, which is what I did. Or you can print out the PDF files directly on your printer and cut them by hand. I printed onto white cardstock. I'm in Australia, so this is just from Spotlight, but it's 176 GSM cardstock. So the thickness is, let's have a quick look. It's like that. It's not super thick because my printer basically won't take anything thicker than that. We have an argument, the printer always wins, and I get frustrated if I try to use anything thicker than this. So this just feeds in really nicely and I don't have to think about it. This is actually letter size, so I've cut all mine out on letter sized cardstock. But you know, when you print it on your printer, you just have to make sure that you choose the right paper size on your printer, and if you're using Cricut on Cricut, that you're cutting it out on, and it will automatically resize it to fit. So I think that's all there is to it. Let me show you what these look like when they're printed out, just quickly before we get started. So these are, I've got a little stack. Let's get my little stack where I can quickly show you all the bits and pieces. Alright, we'll get rid of that. Okay, so let's start. These are the base pages. We'll just do a quick flick through. We've got some bats, just some general spooky elements. They print really nicely, and like so. So we've got some of those. Then we also had another set. These ones face this way, so they're kind of like the back of the page, and then these ones would be the front of the page if you wanted to do a pocket. Oh, I also should mention that part of the kit is, I think it's a set of 14 or 15, I can't remember, background pages, so that if you want to, you can print on the back of things as well. So, or if you've got any spooky digital prints or something vintage or something like that that you would like to use with it, then you can print on the back of these pieces where you need to. Okay, so these are the other pages. So we've got lots of bats and spooky things going on. This is a window that I wanted to use for something. So those are that side of the base pages. Put a clip on that. Then we have this is for the cover. It's actually the inside cover, but I'll show you how we're going to work that. So I've got that one there, and then these two are the spines. So this is the 4-page spine. It's got 4 lines here, one for each page, and then this one is enough for 6 pages. So that's the spine and the cover, and I'll show you how to use all of that. So we'll pop that away. Then we've got, these are some of the inserts. So this is the folded book. So it comes like that, and I just printed on the back before I cut it out so that I had something on the inside as well. So that's that one. Then there's the little file folder. I also printed on that side, but you know, you don't have to. It could just stay white if you wanted to. And then these are the side inserts. So these go in the side of the pockets, and I've also printed on the back of those. And the envelopes I forgot to print out, but never fear, we will print them out in another tutorial and I can show you those. There's these little, I've printed out lots of these to make a waterfall. So I can have lots of little ones stacked up like this for a waterfall, and they've got spiders on them, and I also printed on the back of those so that they weren't blank, because normally it would be white, and I think with all these dark colours it would be a very stark contrast. And then we have a couple of these floral borders that you can use if you want to cover up some of the tabs and things like that, or just if you just put glue on this side and then pop it down, you can easily slide things into there. So you can print as many of those out as you like. So we've got those. And these are our flips. There's one of each. I've actually printed out 2, but those are the flips, and I've printed on the back of those as well, so that when they flip over, they aren't plain white. They've got tabs on either side, just so you've got a choice about which way you want it to flip, whether you wanted to flip that way or whether you wanted to glue that down and flip it that way. And we just cut off the ones that we don't want. So that's those ones. Pop that there. And then these are all the pockets. So we've got these long pockets with witches on them. Oops. And we've got one going each way. So you've got an option of how you want to use those. This is our skeleton belly band. It's wearing a nice dinner jacket. Here's our zombie guy, which is also a side pocket. Then we have some gravestones, one going each way. We've got a slot pocket. So because I cut this out on my Cricut, it just did all the cutting for me. Marvellous. Then we have this haunted house pocket. So it's got the tabs here so that we can glue it down like that, and then we can stick things underneath. We have a set of doors. We have a witch, and we have a set of gates, and this is our apothecary cabinet, which is also a pocket if you wanted it to be, or you could just cut the tabs off and stick it straight down on the page, up to you. And then these are the little doors for it that we are going to put on. So that's all the pockets. This should be fun. Then here's a quick look at some of the pieces that you can use to embellish. We've got lots of things here. So we've got this is the size of them. We've got the coffin. We've got a few different size sort of witches' broomsticks. Got a skeleton. We've got lots of pumpkins. Lots of cats, more pumpkins of various types. We have got oodles of poisonous, little bottles of poison here of various, there's all different sizes, so you can use them to embellish in any way you like. Let's move that out of the way. So we've got some poison bottles. They're cool. Look at that one. We've got another zombie. So you can see there's lots. There's lots and lots. Look at it all. There's so many choices. Okay, and then there's also the floral bits and pieces. Let's have a look at those. Oh, we've got a really creepy skeleton. We've got some flowers. I have put a black border around them. And they cut out with the Cricut with that black border. Now if you don't like the black border, you can just cut it off, but it just makes it much easier for cutting out if it's got a little bit of a border on it sometimes. So we've got all these little floral elements, and there's more. There's big ones and little ones and medium-sized ones, and there's lots to choose from here and use. And if you don't use them in this album, you could reuse them in a junk journal. You could make cards out of them. You could do all sorts of things, whatever your heart desires. We've got little crows. Got some little crows here, or ravens. I don't know what you call them where you are. I don't even know if they're different. Are crows and ravens different? I don't know. We just have crows. Alright, so those are the cut out, but we also have stacks and stacks of these, which just because they fill up the gaps for me to make it easier to design the pages for print and cut on the Cricut. But we've got lots of signs, and we've got lots of signs, but I think they're really useful, especially with a photo album, because you can use these as an embellishment. You know, you could just have a floral element and then a little sign. Maybe you could put a little purple poison bottle with it, and you've got a little cluster just like that. So there's all those sorts of things that we can use as well. And there's stacks, and lots and lots of them in different sizes. And if you don't want to use them, you don't want to use them. So that's all of those. So today we are going to make the cover, and let's get all of this out of the way. It was also nicely organised, and now it is not. We're going to make the cover today. We'll see how far we get with that, how much I can talk, how much you can stand. So we're going to use these pieces here. Now I will try and remember to write in the description underneath this video how many of which piece I cut to make everything, so that you don't have to try and remember. But I can show you on here which pieces I cut out as we go along. So I've cut out 2 of the covers. So the file will be called cover, and I've cut out 2 of these, and then I cut out this whole spine page because my Cricut does it like that, but I'm going to use the 6-page spine today. So we need those things to get started. So we can put that to the side, and we need those 2 things. So these are actually the inside covers of the cover, without the mats for the inside of the cover. So we need to cut out some of the actual card covers. Am I making any sense? So what I did is I took this little guy here and I just dropped him down on the page. I lined him up. He's a him apparently. And then I just traced around it like this with my pencil. Now this is, I bought this years ago, so I can't remember what thickness it is, but I would say if you don't have anything like this, you could use cereal boxes, and I would probably stick 2 cereal boxes together to give you the thickness. Otherwise you could use, you know, that cardboard bit that comes on the back of a watercolor pad or a paper pad or something like that. So you don't need to buy this specifically. You can use what you have. Okay, so once I've done that, then I would use my craft knife and my ruler and cut around that. But I'm saving a bit of time today, and I've already done that. So here we go. I've cut out 2 of my covers and 1 of my spines, right? So this will go on there, and it might be a touch bigger. So what I did was I cut on the outside of the line just to make sure that it was just a touch bigger than this, and we'll get to that later. So the first thing I need to do is put these all together. Gosh, it's been so long since I've done a video. I'm going to use some tape. I had some tape. What did I do with my tape? Yeah. This is framer's tape, but I am just using it like masking tape. But it's a little bit, it's, you know, it's more durable, I guess is the word. Then I have this here, which is just 2 bits of the back of a watercolor pad, that bit that I was talking about, the card at the back, and I've stuck 2 thicknesses together, and I just kind of use that as a spacer in between. So the first thing I need to do is wrestle with this tape, which is very durable and sturdy. It's also really sticky. So I'm going to make sure that it's long enough, And I'm just going to cut this off. Now, because it's been so long since I've done a video, if there's anything I've forgotten, please feel free to ask in the comments. So I'm just going to stick this guy down on here, like so. And then I'm going to put my spacer there. And then I'm going to take my spine and line my spine up as best I can. I mean, it's handmade, so it's never going to be perfect. But I do want to leave myself a little bit of a gap. That looks pretty good. Try and get my spacer out. And then I'm going to do the same again for this other side. Anyway, I hope everyone's well and has been busy being creative in whatever way you like. Recently I have got very heavily into doing some pottery, and I've also been doing lots of art journaling. And what else have I been doing? Just some general painting, all sorts of things. I'm easily distracted. Okay, so then I've got my spine in the middle, and I'm going to line up my next cover piece and leave a gap and just pop that down like that. And then I'm going to trim these off. So sticky. And so I'll never get this off my thumb now. And here. Okay. So then I'm also, let's just flip that over, and I'm just going to make sure that that's well stuck down. Okay. And then I'm also going to put some tape down this side as well. Just use normal masking tape for this. I have very often just used normal masking tape for this, but I came across this tape and here we are. So you can see even this, it's sticky on this side too. The stickies come off onto this side. So I don't even know what to say. Okay, I'm going to put this bit down here, and then I will trim these bits off again. This little book, I'm trying to, or this album, I'm trying to think about putting it together so it sort of tells a little story as you go along. That was my original idea for what I wanted to do. So we'll see if that comes together. Okay. So then I'm just going to take my bone folder and just sort of lift it up and press this down very gently so that the tape sticks to each other from each side. And the same here, like so. All right, so we've got ourselves a basic cover. Looks good. Now I'm going to cover the cover. So what I did, I went to the, here in Australia, I went to Spotlight yesterday, and I was looking for some Halloween fabric and I couldn't find anything I liked. So I I thought, what am I going to do? So I have this really old, kind of not really pretty embossed wallpaper, and I bought it from a garage sale years ago, and I've got rolls and rolls of it, and I've not really used it, but it's really nice and thick and durable, and it's great for covers, but it's also really it's hard to fold, you know, it's really thick. Anyway, I experimented and I made this out of it. So I painted it. Look, first of all, what I did was I took the original piece before I painted it and I covered it in hand cream, and then I had hand cream on my hands, hand cream on this, and then I scrunched it all up and sort of softened it. So you'll see it's much softer, it's more flexible. And then after I'd done that, I painted it. So it's just some black acrylic paint, a bit of purple spray paint, and then I just rubbed a bit of gold on it. So that thing where you take it and you squash it all up, I won't do it again now. I think it's called Momogami. I've done it for some different things before, but never with wallpaper. So anyway, this is what I'm going to use to cover it. If you don't have old wallpaper, you can do this with normal paper. I have covered some books before just using butcher's paper or packing paper that I've painted as well, so you can do that. And what else? You could just use usual normal wrapping paper, or whatever. You can use fabric, whatever you like. So, but this is what I'm going to use. So I'm just going to line it up somewhere. I'm not worried about the pattern on it because it doesn't repeat very well. Basically, I'm going to give myself an inch the whole way around it. So I'm just going to draw myself a line along here. I mean, it's rough, it doesn't have to be perfect, but an inch is, you know, workable. And an inch down here. And then I can line my corner up here and along the bottom here. And then, so my ruler is an inch thick, so that makes it nice and easy. So then I'm just going to go all the way around. Oops, I'm not going to move it. And then we're just going to draw this line along here. Yeah, so I did want to really do a fabric cover, but not today, not this time. I couldn't find anything that I really liked. So then I'm just going to cut this piece off. You know what? I'm just going to cut along here. But if I can use some of this wallpaper that I've had hanging around for years. So when I went to the garage sale, there was a whole box full of it. And I said to the person, oh, can I just have one roll? How much for one roll? And they said, oh, you can have the whole box for $5. And of course, who can say no? So I ended up with a whole box that I did not need. Don't even know what I was thinking about at the time, what I wanted to use it for. But we'll see how this looks. Okay, so we've got some scraps too, which is good. Okay, and then I'm just going to glue this down on here. Now, I'm just going to use glue stick, I think, and see how that works for me. And I think I'm going to put the glue on my cover. So this is that disappearing blue glue stick, you know, so when it dries it's not blue anymore, but now you can tell where you've been. It's pretty strong. So I'm just going to start with, see, it's already disappearing. I'm just going to start there. too much, do you think? Never. Okay, I'm just going to pop this on here and here. And so I'm just starting with one side at the moment. Give it a really good press. Looks good. Feels pretty stuck. And then we will do the rest. Gonna get in that gap. I might just go to here. Press that down. I don't really know. It's only just so I don't have to try and... the reason I'm doing it like this, just one section at a time, is just so I'm not getting glue everywhere, basically. Okay, and then this bit. I'm going to go down the side here. I'm going to stick a piece of scrap paper under here so I don't get glue on the inside. There we go. Alright. So much glue. Alright, and then press that one down like that. Just get that out of the way, and I'll just press that down too, like that. Excellent. All right, I'll just put that to the side for a minute. And now we're going to fold these edges in and glue those down. So I'm just going to start by folding it. And the same with this side. I mean, we've done this a million times. Feel free to zoom ahead if you don't want to see this bit. And I'm just going to fold this one. And here. And here. And the same over here. I'm really trying to push it hard up against there so you don't get a little pouch, little empty spare bit at the end here. Like so. I can't wait to see what this looks like as a cover. Okay, so now I can see my little bits that I need to cut out. So I'm just going to cut that little, actually I'm going to go across. I'm going to go across. Just going to leave a little sliver at the corner there so I don't leave my corner exposed, although it's no drama if you do, because you know it can be fixed. I'm thinking about using some of those little fancy corner things to go on the book corners, you know what I mean? Alright, so then I think I might use glue stick, why not? I'll tell you what, I'll get that bit of scrap paper out again. Not sure how this wallpaper is going to stick, but I'm going to give it a go. So I'm going to push that right up against there. I use my bone folder. And then I'm also going to flatten along here. Pretty good. And then I'm going to do the other side. I just always do the short sides first, and I don't know why. Actually, I don't even always do anything. I don't know if I'm the only one, but I don't tend to do anything the same way. But I do find the short edges easier. Now, I'm just going to fold it. Give it a little bit of flex here before it gets too tight. Oh, that looks good. Wait till it's finished, Katie. Okay, and then we're going to do these long sections. And I'm going to just put a little slit in here where that little fold is, to make it just a little bit easier at that fold. Just going to take that little V out. I don't know if it's necessary, but we're going to do it anyway. And same here. Just a little bit there, and a little bit here. I'm not going right up to the edge. I'm trying not to, because we still want to be able to fold it over. Alright, let's start with the little bits. Oop. Might as well just do the whole lot, I suppose, and try and get a bit of glue in there. I feel like I've already talked more than I usually do in a whole day in this video. When you get out of practice of doing videos, and then, you know, I just feel like I'm talking a lot. Okay. Excellent. Press that down. Along here. Then I'm just going to flatten this out. Along here. Same on this side. Yeah, so I'm hoping that this looks good, because I would like to be able to use all of this wallpaper. Okay, last one. I'm going to press. Got a bit of glue on there. I've got glue on my fingers now. Press, press, press. Alright, let's get that out of the way. Try and get that glue off my fingers. Okay. So I'm going to give that a good going over with my bone folder. And then do the same along here. Alright. A little sticky bit poking out on this little edge here. I'm just going to snip that off. That one looks alright. That one might need a little. I'll just push it in with my fingernail. Okay, so that's my cover. Alright, let's see what it looks like. Oh yeah, that looks pretty good. I'm not sure which way up it's meant to go. Maybe that way? I love it. Okay, so then let's just talk about what we need to do next. So these pieces here go on the inside like this, and then we'll use our spine piece to go in the center here, but you'll be able to see this little bit here. So with my little scrappy bits of leftover wallpaper, I'm just gonna stick a little bit in here. Now I'm just thinking about, could I use this bit? I think I could, you know, just use a skinny section. So I'm just going to fold this in half. So this is about an inch thick now, folded in half. And then I'm just going to cut that in half. I'm just going to use my scissors because you won't even see the edges. There we go. And then I'm just going to cut a piece that fits from here down to here, and because I want to cover up this little bit here, all the way down to basically the whole width minus a touch. So I'm just going to stick those together. I'm trying, and then draw that line, and then cut. Probably not even that straight, but that's okay. And then I'm going to put some glue on this guy. Oh, that's so gluey. Okay, and then I'm just going to put this over that fold, making sure that I go from one end to the next like that. And then we'll get our bone folder and we'll really give that a good press and make sure it's stuck down. Could just come up a little touch. Maybe a little touch long here, but we should be able to trim that if it's a problem. And then I'm going to press down that fold line again. Make sure that it folds okay and that it's stuck down. Alright, how's that? So I can see the white bit, but I can just, you know what, I've got some ink here. I can just, I mean, you wouldn't even be able to tell I'm being fussy here. There you go, now you can't see it. And the same on this edge. Yeah, okay, that's going to work. Alright, good. So let's just make sure that we can actually bend our book covers. Very good. And then I'm going to do the other one with this. And that's our cover pretty much done. Oh, we can put the inside mats on. Okay. I'm going to pop this one in here, like that. Get that out of the way. Try and get the glue off my fingers. Press it down. Give it a really good press. Really good press. Okay, and then I'm going to find where that fold is and just pop it in there so that I can make sure that I can open and close my book. There we go. I am happy with that. Let's fold it over. Yeah, so you can see where the... I'll fix this up later. I won't bore you with me trying to... There's just a little white line there, and because it's also dark, it's quite obvious. But the ink worked, or I could just use another little bit of black paint or something. So there we go. So there's my cover. So now on the inside, these are our inside covers. So we just need to glue those down on here like this, making sure that we avoid that little section there. Now, if it is too snug for your liking, you can see that it's got a little grey edge all the way around there. So you could trim it off to there and then use the mat like that. So I'm just trying to decide whether I think I might actually cut that little grey sliver off all the way around that one. Will I? Maybe I won't. I think it will be fine. I'm just going to bring it up as close to this edge as I can so it doesn't get in the way of my fold here. So, some more gluing. I'm going to get another piece of paper to glue on top of, because that one's quite sticky. So here's another one. And I'm just going to put glue along here. Now, might be better to use a different glue. I don't know. I'm going to find out. If I can use a glue stick, I will. I'm just most worried about the edges, I think. Alright. So I'm going to try and get this quite up close to my edge and as centered as I can get it. Let's see where that goes. Even closer. How's that? That looks alright. Okay. And then I'm going to give it a really good press, especially around the edges. So if this comes up a little bit, I'll just squeeze a bit of some other kind of glue in there. Just going to make sure it's not poking out past here. Just not sure how well that glue is going to adhere to the wallpaper. Forgot what it's called. Alright. Excellent. And then the other side, I'm going to spin it round and do it. Doesn't matter which way these go. They're going to have pockets or something on them anyway, so you know, probably won't see too much of them. Once we're done, pockets with some bits and pieces in them. Alright, when to stop gluing. Alright, so once again, I'm going to try and get up really close to the edge. And stick that down, just trying to see if it's about right seems like it. So then I'm just going to stick this down here. Just make sure that I can bend it. Yes, it's lovely. It's lovely. Okay. There we go. Ooh. There we go. I think that is pretty good. As I say, if it comes up a little bit, I can always stick another type of glue under there, you know, a white glue or something. There we go. So that is our cover. So the next stage would be to make our pages and put in our spine in the middle here. But I think I'll do that in another video because I need to stop talking for a minute, and this has probably been longer than I actually wanted it to be. So anyway, that is our cover done for this video. The next video we will do the pages or insert the pages with the spine, and then all we need to do is add some pockets and flips and things, and then all our inserts, and it's done. So that is my wallpaper, vintage wallpaper covered mini album. So thanks very much for joining me today. I'm so thrilled to be back and having a project to do. Just as a reminder, I think it will be called the Haunted House mini album. I will put a link in the description box below to my Etsy store where you can find this project if you're interested. Otherwise, I hope you check out the next video, and I'll see you again soon. Okay, thanks. Bye.